Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 5 predictions between the New York Giants and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, starting with the injury report of the Seattle Seahawks, we got defensive tackles Byron Murphy with a hamstring injury and nose tackle Cameron Young with a knee injury, both out for this game. Linebacker Boye Mafe with a knee injury, and safety Julian Love with a thigh injury, both questionable for this game. While we have linebackers Terrell Dodson with an ankle shoulder injury, tight end Pharaoh Brown with a foot knee injury, tight end Noah Fant with a toe injury, wide receiver Tyler Lockett with a thigh injury, tight end Brady Russell with a shoulder injury, linebacker Jerome Baker with a hamstring injury, linebacker Uchenna Nwosu with a knee injury, defensive end Leonard Williams with a rib injury, guard Anthony Bradford with a knee injury, wide receiver DK Metcalf with a hand injury, running back Kenneth Walker with an oblique injury, linebacker Derek Hall with a hip injury, safety Rayshon Jenkins with a hand injury, linebacker Trice Knight with a knee injury, and safety Kovan Wallace with a shoulder injury. When it comes to all of those players, they're going to play. The only exception, obviously not including the players who are out, are is Boye Mafe. I think Boye is the only one. I think Julian Love will play, and everyone else will. The only players that will not play for Seattle that I believe will not play is Byron Murphy, Cameron Young, and Boye Mafe, and that's going to be a very big hindrance. Losing a rookie, losing a veteran like Young, and losing a veteran like Mafe, that's a pretty tough pill to swallow. And to be honest, it's going to be a very tough game for the Seattle Seahawks, especially because of how injured they've been. And it clearly showed last week against Detroit. Now on to the offense of the Seattle Seahawks, starting with Geno Smith at quarterback, running back Kenneth Walker, wide receivers DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Tyler Lockett. And then we got tight end Noah Fant, left tackle Charles Cross, left guard Laken Tomlinson, center Connor Williams, right guard Anthony Bradford, and right tackle Stone Forsythe. When it comes down to these players, I think it's going to be an okay offense. As long as you get the run game with Kenneth Walker, as long as you get the Bolton and Jigba and to Metcalf, you've got this in the bag. This offensive line, pretty iffy, but I still trust this offensive line to protect Geno Smith as much as they can. But honestly, I that's the only real issue I have, is specifically on the right side with Bradford and Forsyth. But other than that, I think the Seahawk offense will do just fine. Now on to the starting defense of the Seattle Seahawks, starting with defensive ends Jerron Reed and Leonard Williams. Nose tackle Jonathan Hankins. Inside linebackers Terrell Dodson and Jerome Baker. Strong side linebacker is Boye Mafe, but if he cannot go, then Draymond Jones will take over. Weak side linebackers Uchenna Nwosu, cornerbacks Trey Brown and Tariq Woolen, with nickelback being Devin Witherspoon. Safety, we got Julian Love, and if he cannot go, Kobe Bryant will take over, and then Rayshon Jenkins at strong safety. When it comes to this defense, we had a huge amount of injuries last week, and most of them are back, obviously. Well, obviously, we didn't get all of them back, and that's really a big issue. But I still think, because this is the New York Giants offense we're talking about, I think that the Seahawks will do just fine. Even with Draymond Jones taking over for Mafe, and even with Kobe taking over for Julian Love. Honestly, Julian Love has been outstanding this season for the Seattle Seahawks at safety. Better than Rayshon Jenkins, to be honest. But in the end, I think the Seahawks need to worry about how their defense will perform against this Giants offense, because to be honest, even though it's Daniel Jones on the other side, if the defense is basically screwed up, the Giants can take over and win the game. Now, on to the Giants injury report, starting with wide receiver Malik Nabers out with a concussion. Doubtful player is Devin Singletary with a groin injury. Questionable players are Adore Jackson, cornerback with a calf injury, defensive back Andrew Phillips with a calf injury as well, and linebacker Matthew Adams with a quad injury, while Brian Burns, who suffered a groin injury, and wide receiver Wandell Robinson with a heel injury. Most likely, both of them will play. Same goes for all the questionable players. I think that Singletary and obviously Nabers are out for this game. I don't think that we're going to be seeing Singletary in this game. But when it comes down to it, even if the other players play, that's still hindering the offense, sorry, the defense of the New York Giants. And to be honest, like also without Navas, your best wide receiver, and without Singletary, honestly, one of your best running backs, you're basically going to suffer offensively because of that. Because honestly, without those two, how are we going to hope for Daniel Jones to throw it to his other receivers? Like, I can only think of one that could actually be a very good replacement for Navers in Singletary. Now on to the offense of the New York Giants, starting with quarterback Daniel Jones, running back Devin Singletary. But if he cannot go, Tyron Tracy Jr. will take over. And we get wide receivers Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Jalen Wyatt. I don't know if that's how you say it. And tight end Dio Johnson, left tackle Andrew Thomas, left guard John Runyon, center John Michael Schmidt, and then we get Greg Van Roten at the right guard position and Jermaine Illuminor at the right tackle position. When it comes down to it, this offense is going to struggle without Nabbers, so that's one thing to worry about. And offensively as well, when it comes to the run game, can Tracy really replace Singletary? That is the big question. And honestly, I think the Giants' offense is really going to struggle, even if they're going to go up against a honestly injured Seattle defense. Now on to the defense of the New York Giants, starting with defensive ends Raheem Nunez Roches and Elijah Chapman. And then we get defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, inside linebackers Bobby Orokikere. I don't know if that's how you say it. Micah McFadden as well. Then we got strong side linebacker Kayvon Thibodeau and weak side linebacker Brian Burns. Cornerbacks are Deontay Banks and Nick McLeod, with nickelback being Cordell Float. I think that's how you say it. And safety Jason Pinnock, along with strong safety Tyler Nubin. When it comes down to it, I think that they're going to struggle a bit. If we see a resurgence in the run game by Seattle, that's going to be a struggle for the New York Giants. And if we see a big plays towards Metcalf and Njigba, then it's over for that secondary. I don't think that they're good enough to take down both Metcalf or Njigba. Maybe one, but not both. If you get one, the other is going to be open at another point. That's what I believe will happen. So, not really much coming from the New York defense. Now, in conclusion, I got this game being close, 24-23 Seahawks win. I think that the Seahawks will come out with the win mostly due to the fact that they are the less injured team, at least that would really matter. Like, there's a lot of injuries on New York, and two players that might not play. Well, one that might not play, and the other that definitely won't play. And those are the two best receivers and running backs you got in New York. But in Seattle, you also got your defensive players who are injured, some that won't play, but it's not going to hinder them as much as the Giants. And to be honest, an injured offense versus an injured defense basically cancels itself out. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think will win and who do you think will lose? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.